All right, everyone, I don't have as much of an update, so I'm going to try to keep this short, okay? Number one, I reached out to the pet relocation service again because our original quote was for Bangkok. We're going to be in Hua Hin. And then our original quote did not have them coming to get the dogs from Fort Worth because the dogs fly out of Houston. And we would just rather not drive 5 hours with them in the car down to Houston to drop them off and then come back to Fort Worth to fly out of here or later or whatever the heck. So they will be coming up to Fort Worth to pick them up. So he's going to rework the quote and everything to kind of see what's going on there, because he said sometimes they will only deliver them within a certain radius of where they're coming in. So they may not be able to deliver the dogs to Hua Hin in this initial service. But he said if for some reason that's the case where Hua Hin is too far and they won't deliver it within this service, he said he will just reach out to the Thai portion of the team to kind of help us figure out what are our options then for getting the dogs from Bangkok down to Hua Hin, because that is about a 4-hour drive and a lot of people don't want dogs in their cars, which is understandable. I just thought it was funny because so many people are like, oh, Thailand is so pet friendly. No, they are small dog friendly. If you have basically anything bigger than like a Shih Tzu or a Chihuahua, actually maybe anything bigger than like a Corgi, you're probably gonna have some problems. We have a small one, but then we also have a German Shepherd. So now I don't expect anyone, of course, to cater to my needs with the dogs because that is my choice to have them. But at the same time, it's kind of like what am I supposed to do? So now luckily there are some services that, like, if they have a really big van and the dog stays in the kennel, like they take the seats out, whatever, and the dogs stay in the kennel the whole drive. Some people are fine with that. Some rental car places are fine with it as long as you get it, of course, cleaned before you return the car. Which again is completely understandable, especially with a shepherd, because this dang dog sheds a ridiculous amount every single day. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We'll be putting down a deposit in September, which they're very flexible, you guys. Okay, I know a lot of you probably sit there and hear the $13,000 and you're like, ain't no way, Fido can stay home. But that's for both of them. That's for everything, and that is for the highest level of service. If we went with the most basic package, it'd be about, with the custom crates and everything, it'd probably be about $7,500. Why we're basically going with the highest option is because I don't want there to be any guessing. I don't want there to be any, well, this happened, and unfortunately, since you didn't book the package that includes that, well, now you have to pay extra, or, well, now they can't come into the country, or what. I don't want there to be any possibility that my dogs don't make it, or that we don't get a certain paperwork, or we don't get whatever, because that is a concern, and it's a valid concern. I'm not leaving my dogs behind. We're staying over there for, at least 2 years, so they need to be with us, okay? And there's just a lot. Now, can you do it on your own? Of course you can. But we already have so much going on our end just for the two of us that I didn't want to stress about the dogs. Now, do I still have to take them to the vet to get, their vaccines and all of that up to date? Yes. But everything else, completely covered. And you also get updates. Like, they have like a little tracking tab thing on them. And the team, whenever they're dealing with the dogs or when they have their layover, they have a full, like, basically day layover in Amsterdam so they can relax and chill before they get on the next flight. So during all of that, once they get on the plane, while they're on the plane, once they land, once they eat, once they go on walks, all that jazz, they update it in their care tag thing so we can see all of those updates. So you're not like just handing off your dog and then hoping you see them on the other side, you know, like you get all these updates and all these things on how they're doing. Rocco may or may not need a custom crate. I really hope that he doesn't. And it's not because of the price, because the quote that we currently have is already for him having a custom crate. So if anything, if he gets to be in the other crate, the price is actually going to go down. But he's on the taller side and his ears are like gigantic. And when you measure them, they count the ears. Okay, you cannot just stop at his head. They count the ears in that measurement. His ears add an additional like 3 inches. And so the first time I measured him, no, he was moving around quite a bit, but he was like right at 34 inches. And the guy was like, if that is his true measurement, he's like right on the line of, if you're this much taller, you're gonna need a custom one. If you're right on the line or this much below it, he's fine with the other crate. I personally don't want him to have a custom one because it's made out of wood instead of being the hard shell plastic one. I worry about him with the wood just because I feel like if he starts to get anxious or anything, he might start scratching it or chewing it. Whereas you can't really do that with a hard shell plastic kennel. So that is kind of my concern there. So I'm hoping that when I measure him, he's like right below the line. But I should be receiving that quote hopefully sometime this week. He said he was going to get it to me the next day, but I haven't heard from him yet. And I'm not really the type of person to like be bugging people like that. So if I don't get anything by tomorrow evening, then I'll probably email him like, hey, just following up. I did not get a new quote yet, and kind of see what's going on there. The other update, look, I'm only going to touch on it briefly. There's a conflict going on in Thailand, okay? Most of you, especially if you're already watching Thailand videos, you're aware of this conflict, okay? It's not that serious. What I mean by that is it's not that serious to stop us from going over there, okay? People always have some kind of, oh, but there's a war going on over here. Oh, but they're a communist. Oh, but they're this. Oh, but they don't like these kind of people down here. Oh, well, they don't like abortion. Oh, well, they don't. Okay, it's never going to be 100% perfect anywhere you go in the world. There's always going to be something, especially something that somebody else might disagree with, or somebody else might be worried about you going over there, or somebody else like, but you guys, I get it. It's the most probably cliche thing to say, but it is so true. And I will always say it. You have one life on this freaking earth. If you sit there not going anywhere due to, all of these things happening, like you will never leave your hometown. You will never go anywhere. Honestly, you should probably get out of your hometown because I bet you a lot of stuff goes down in your hometown too. So it's like, I'm not going to put my life on hold because of this border conflict in Thailand and Cambodia. It's all the way over here. We're going to be all the way over here. The whole like ocean between where I'm going to be at and where Cambodia and Thailand's conflict is. If you're anywhere basically away from the border, you're fine. Okay, so I'm not gonna keep putting my life on hold. And this conflict's been going on for like 100 years, maybe even longer. Every like couple years, they battle it out for a little bit and then they're good. And then they battle it out for a little bit and then they're good. Like it never turns into this like full-fledged war. Like, so I'm going to leave you guys with that. Like, we're still going to travel. We're still going to do what we want. If we sat there and listened to everybody saying, you know, you shouldn't or be careful or whatever, like I said, we would never go anywhere. But honestly, like I said, some places in America are not safe either. And we've already decided on going over there. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to go over there. Okay. So do with that what you will. Okay. But we're not going to live our life afraid of what if this, what if that, shoulda this, coulda done, woulda, whatever. No. We'll be fine. If for some reason things start getting out of hand, that's a different story. Then maybe if we're already over there and stuff happens, we hop on over to somewhere else, you know, somewhere safer or what, you know, whatever. But right now, all is good. I bet you by the time we even are moving over there, which isn't for like 6 more months, that they'll probably be done with this. So there's really not much to worry about. Okay. So that's kind of the update I have for you. I listed a lot more stuff on Facebook to sell. I have a lot more I need to list, but obviously there's things we can't sell just yet, you know, because we still have 6 more months here. Like the TV and the TV stand and some of the things we have in the garage and some of the things around the house. I listed the exercise bike. That's been on there for a while though. And I don't even think I've had anyone interested in that. So I might have to lower the price. I already lowered the price twice. So I might have to lower it even more. My husband finally gave me the go ahead to sell the piano because he bought this piano and used it like 3 times. So I can list that. I'll probably message the guy that wanted some of these weights so I can get some of those sold. Originally, I have them as a bundle, the bar and the weight plates. But people want bits and pieces. They don't want the whole bundle. Like one guy only wants the bar. One guy just wants like the 25s and the 45s or something. And so I'm like, I'd rather not split it. I'd rather just get rid of it in one go, but that's not seeming like that's going to be a possibility. Vaccines for us as well. I'm not super big on vaccines. I mean, I'm not like for them, but I'm not against them either, if that makes sense. Like I'm one of those that like you do what you want to do with that. Okay. If you're somebody who feels like you shouldn't be getting any and you don't get any, then go right ahead. Don't get any. But if you're somebody who feels like you need this or would benefit from this, then go ahead and get it. The ones I'm more so looking at are the ones that are for, so like typhoid and I think it's Hep A, because those are for like if you have bad water, you know, some bad food, like you just some, you know, stuff like that. And then the Japanese encephalitis, because I get destroyed by mosquitoes. And now I'll always carry stuff with me being over there. That's just what I do. On anytime we vacation, I always have that stuff on me. Not like, oh, it's at the hotel and I forgot. No, it's always like in my purse because like I said, I get destroyed by mosquitoes. Now, luckily, I've never had any kind of disease or whatever that they carry. But in some areas, in some of those other countries, it's worse. And so the Japanese encephalitis, basically gonna help me out if I do get bit by one that's got some kind of disease. Shut up. I don't know if you could hear him, but he's doing his little like like he's gonna start barking, but he ain't barking. He better not bark because I can't deal with that right now. But that's where we're at. I have an appointment with my VA doctor next month. If any of you are veterans that are also 100% PNT with the VA, how is all that working overseas? I read a few articles that basically said like they would reimburse us if it's obviously treating something service connected. But I'm like, well, but what about like major things? Like, what if they're like, you need an MRI? I cannot pay out of pocket for an MRI. So I'm not really sure how that would work, but I know I got to do some research. I got to call the people and ask them. I'm sure there's a way that like once I get the bill, just like give it to them, because that was something that happened to me back when I had my surgeries on my feet. I had to get seen by a doctor out in town. Now, this is while I was still active duty. I had to get seen by a doctor out in town. And they were like, just let us know, like, what doctor, whatever, and, like, they'll take care of it. And so they did. So I would assume that's kind of the same case over there. But I'm not 100% sure. So I know I have to figure that out. But at least maybe you guys could help me if any of you have had to go through that. Well, there you have it. I got nothing else for you guys. If you have any questions about all of this, about what we're doing, about everything that's going on, I have other videos about what visa we're using, how we found everything for the dogs and all that. We're using Starwood Pet Relocation Services. We're going to start getting more serious looking for a home in like the November time frame. I started looking now, but it's way too soon to look now. Like I was just kind of looking to see what we could get for the price we were willing to pay, which is really, really good over there actually. But November would be kind of the better time to start like seriously looking and getting ready to put like a deposit down and you know, all of that, the closer we actually get to going. Then we got to figure out what all we got to do with the home here. I know they need a 2-month notice for us to not renew our lease, but we've moved out of homes before, and I know we have to do like a whole inspection, we got to take care of stuff this dog has broken and ruined, which is like a 4 by 3 foot section of the floor over here, all the blinds over there, the blinds on the sliding glass door. So yeah, we got to replace all of that. So we'll figure that out when the time comes too. But yeah, like I said, any questions, let me know. I'm not going to do the end screen thing this time, because I think in order to do it, I have to be on the computer. And I don't want to have to get on the computer every single time I upload a video. But if it lets me do it on the phone, then you will see it. There'll be some other videos and some subscribe stuff, okay? You subscribing, of course, helps me out. I got to get at least to 1,000. The goal is to be at 1,000 before Thailand. And I'm close. We're getting there, guys. So I will see you in the next one. I hope y'all have a great day and just keep on keeping on. Bye.